That night, the rain did not stop. The thunder roared like the anger of the gods. Inside a small mud house in a quiet village in eastern Nigeria, a woman cried. Her name was Ngozi. She had just given birth to twins. But her husband, Obinna, stood by the door, his face filled with fear and shame. Ngozi said weakly, Obinna, please, don't leave me. They are your children, your blood. Obinna shouted angrily, Ngozi. I have nothing. No money. No food. How will I feed you and 2 babies? You want me to die in shame? Obinna's eyes were red. Poverty had turned his heart into stone. He picked his old, torn bag, looked at his crying wife one last time, and walked into the storm. And just like that, the man who promised love forever left his wife and newborn twins alone in the dark. Days turned into weeks. Weeks became months. Ngozi suffered. Her twins, Chidi and Chika, cried from hunger. Sometimes, she boiled water and pretended it was soup just to calm them. The villagers mocked her. One woman laughed, Ngozi. You see, you gave birth to twins. The gods have punished you. Another added, your husband ran away because you are cursed. But Ngozi was not cursed. She was strong. Stronger than pain. She tied her babies on her back and went from house to house, washing clothes, fetching water, sweeping compounds, anything to feed her children. At night, she would sit by the fire, telling her twins stories, stories of hope. She whispered softly, smiling at her babies, my children, one day, you will be great. You will wear good clothes. You will never beg for food. I may not have much, but I have dreams for you. Years passed. The twins grew. Chidi was smart, he could fix torn shirts and sew small stitches even at the age of 15. Chika was creative, she loved drawing patterns on wrappers with charcoal. Together, they helped their mother sell small clothes in the village market. The people began to notice them. A market woman smiled, Ngozi, your children are talented. Oh. Chidi's sewing is neat like city tailors. Ngozi replied proudly, oh, thank you, Mama Uche. God will bless them. I know He will. Still, poverty was heavy. They slept on mats. They shared 1 meal a day. But hope burned like fire in their hearts. One night, Chidi spoke softly to his mother. Mama, when I grow up, I will build a big shop. We will make clothes for rich people. You will never suffer again. Ngozi smiled weakly and said, Amen, my son. From your lips to God's ears. She looked up at the sky, whispering prayers into the night wind. But far away, in another town, Obinna, the man who left them, wandered from job to job. He carried cement at construction sites, begged for food, and slept under bridges. Life punished him hard. He often remembered his wife and the twins, but pride chained his heart. When the twins turned 20, Ngozi made a big decision. She packed their small box and told them they were leaving the village. Chika was surprised. Mama, where are we going? Ngozi answered, we are going to Port Harcourt. It is a city, my children. I have a friend there. Maybe the city will smile at us. And so, they left. They entered an old bus, carrying only hope, a sewing machine, and their dreams. Life in Port Harcourt was not easy. The city was loud. The air smelled of smoke and hustle. But Ngozi and her twins worked day and night. They rented a tiny room close to Million Market. Chidi started sewing clothes for neighbors, while Chika went from shop to shop, drawing designs for tailors. They named their small business, Twin Stars Tailoring. At first, people laughed at them. A customer mocked, oh. 2 children and 1 woman sewing. Are you sure you can sew well? Chidi replied confidently, try us, sir. You won't regret it. They worked day and night. Slowly, Customers started coming back, with smiles. Their clothes were neat, stylish, and perfect for all sizes. A customer said happily, "This is beautiful. I will tell my friends about twin stars." Word spread fast. They started getting big orders from offices and events. In less than 3 years, they rented a bigger shop. The name Twin Stars Tailoring became famous in Port Harcourt. Soon, the twins decided to expand. They started producing Ankara fabrics and ready-made clothes. They renamed the business Twin Stars Textiles. They employed workers, tailors, designers, delivery boys, and built a small factory. Their mother, Ngozi, smiled every day, thanking God for turning tears into blessings. She prayed softly, "God of widows and poor women, you remembered me. May my children never forget where they came from." But destiny, my people, has a strange way of spinning stories. Because somewhere, far away in another part of Port Harcourt, an old man named Obinna, thin, tired, and ashamed, was looking for a job. He said weakly to a guard, "Please, are there any job openings here? I can work as anything, cleaner, gateman, anything." The guard shrugged, "Go to that new company over there. Twin Stars Textiles. They are looking for workers." Twin Stars Textiles, the same company built by his abandoned children. But he didn't know. Obinna walked slowly to the gate, holding his torn bag and a crumpled letter. He looked up at the bright building with shining glass walls and a big signboard that said, "Twin Stars Textiles Limited, quality from our hands to your heart." He muttered to himself, "Oh, God, look at this place. Maybe they will pity me." He entered the gate. The guard asked him to wait. After some time, a young man came out. His name was Chidi, the company director, the very son he had abandoned many years ago. But Obinna could not recognize him. How could he? The last time he saw him, Chidi was a baby crying in his mother's arms. Chidi spoke kindly, "Good morning, sir. You said you're looking for a job." Obinna replied nervously, "Yes, my son. I can work as a gateman. I am strong, even though I am old." Chidi smiled. All right. What's your name?" Obinna answered, "Obinna. Obinna Okafor." Chidi paused for a moment. That name sounded strangely familiar. He looked at the old man closely, the wrinkles, the tired eyes, the rough hands, but he shook off the thought. Chidi said gently, "You are hired, sir. Report tomorrow morning. My sister and I believe in giving everyone a chance." Obinna bowed his head. "Thank you, my son. God bless you." Tears filled his eyes. He didn't know he was bowing before his own flesh and blood. The next day, Obinna came to work early. He wore a faded uniform, swept the front of the company, opened the gate, and greeted workers. Everyone liked him because he was humble. But each time he saw Chidi and Chika drive in with their mother's old wrapper tied in the car mirror, a memory of her struggle, something in his heart burned. He didn't know why that wrapper felt familiar. He whispered quietly to himself, "That cloth. I've seen it before." But where? Every evening, he would sit alone by the gate, watching the sunset, whispering regrets to the wind. He murmured, "Ngozi, if only I could see you again. I was foolish. Forgive me." One sunny afternoon, fate began to move again. Ngozi, now older but still graceful, decided to visit the company her children built. She wore her best wrapper and tied her headscarf neatly. She wanted to see the new textile designs they had just launched. As she reached the gate, she saw a man standing there, old, thin, with sad eyes. She stopped. Her heart skipped a beat. She looked again. And again. She whispered in shock, "No, it cannot be. Obinna." The man turned slowly, looked at her, and froze. He blinked, his mouth opened slightly, his hands shook. he said in a trembling voice, Ngozi. For a moment, the whole world stood still. The wind stopped. The noise of the street faded. Two souls who once shared love, pain, and tears, now stood face to face after many years of separation. But Ngozi's eyes filled with tears. Her body trembled with anger and disbelief. She said, her voice breaking, You left me, in the rain, with your children crying. You left us to die. Obinna cried, I was a fool, Ngozi. I was lost. Please, forgive me. Tears rolled down her cheeks. She turned away, shaking her head. No, not here. Not now. Do you work here? As a gateman? Oh God, my children, what will they say? She walked into the compound, still shaking. She couldn't believe what she just saw. Her heart was heavy, torn between pity and pain. And as Obinna stood by the gate, tears dropped on the dusty ground. He had no idea that his children, the same twins he ran away from, were just a few steps away, inside the company office. Fate had brought them back together. But the truth had not yet been told. The storm of the past was about to rise again. What will happen when Chidi and Chika find out the old gateman is their father? Will Ngozi forgive the man who left her in the rain? Watch out for part 2 to find out the answer to these questions.